Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Tribe of the Tides, where in the last episode, we successfully migrated to the second island and we brought a ton of claws along with us. Honestly, at this point, I feel like the game, or maybe the tribe itself, is trying to tell me that they really just want to become carnivores. Like, they are not interested in picking their berries and eating those anymore. They just want to harvest all of the meat sources on this island. The bunnies, the crabbits, maybe even the carnivores. That could actually probably help us out if we have so many claws to deal with, because unfortunately, Eclipse back here is the only baby who managed to inherit the nimble fingers, and it was very, very hard to find just one baby with the nimble fingers on him. So going forward, Eclipse is definitely going to have to take on a lot of mates just to pass his nimble fingers onto his babies, but it seems like, honestly, the claws are going to be the dominant trait in our pack, and I mean, that's not a bad thing. That means it will be very well protected, and we can also go hunting these little crabbits, for instance. Actually, Dawn could scoot down here right now, and she could slap this guy from behind, because you can only attack the crabbits from behind, so we kind of need to hunt them down in pairs. So if we have Dawn slap this guy, then he's going to turn around and look at her, and now we can have Bolt actually slap him instead. So they take a little while to wear down. They will eventually pass away on their own too if you leave them alone, but we're going to have to wait until, of course, Dawn has a little bit more energy so she can finish him off. But for now, we are going to move Eclipse onto this log right here so that in the next turn, he'll at least be able to pick from the berry bush. This is kind of perfect for him, actually. Not only is he sitting on top of this little stump, so he's kind of like a lookout because it does light up a little bit more of the area around him, but he can also sit right here and pick up all of these berries right next to him. So he's actually in a very good position, all things considered. Now, I am thinking about moving our little water family, our little water babies, over to the western part of the island, because I did notice that we have another nest up here, and it's quite important that we spread these guys out with different nests so that we can have more babies born to the pack at once. So I think I'm also probably going to abandon my hopes and dreams of having a little line of gilled creatures, because they are definitely way more trouble than they're worth right now, especially because the water body actually does the exact same thing as the gills now since the game was updated. So I'm hoping what we can do is actually place the water body in the mutation menu instead, and in fact I'll probably switch these around so that the water body is at 30% and the fishing tail is at 10%. So hopefully we can get a little bit of an improved fishing skill on them as well. And they'll still be able to go underwater if they have the water body. They'll be able to sleep there anyway. They don't have to worry about drowning. So I'm thinking that they probably will start moving off in this direction on this turn, and instead we'll have Syrah, who also needs to have her baby. She actually bred with Quartz right before they left the island. She'll sit next to the baby to keep him company for now, to keep him safe. We are still watching out for the bird in our skies after all. The bird hasn't come back yet, but I know eventually it will, especially as it knows that more babies are being born on the island, so more potential food for the bird too. We'll actually move Syrah right here right now so we don't forget about that. Unfortunately, of course, she can't give birth on this turn because the baby can't move just yet, and I did want to rename him too, even though he didn't manage to inherit those very important water genes, except for the webbed hind legs. So I mean, he can move through water a little bit better than some of the other creatures. I did still want to give him a name that would at least show that he's part of their family, so I thought we would call him Dewdrop. Little Dewdrop, to kind of signify that he is part of the water line, but he might be like a little bit of a black sheep of his family at the moment, because of course he can't do much exploring in the water since he can't breathe underwater like his mom and his dad, but he will eventually join them once he grows up and he's able to traverse the waters freely without being worried about getting picked up by that bird. He will join them, but for now we'll have Splish and Coral start making their way off to the other side of the island, and I think I would also like to have them breed before they do so, because we never know if we're going to run into that wandering male. So let's have Coral come over here, and then Splish can breed with her, because we did already set up the mutation menu, yeah, so that should work just fine. We'll have them breed, hopefully they'll have their first water-bodied baby, and then they'll start moving through the water this way, and we can see if there's anything noteworthy off this way too. It doesn't seem like it yet. I mean, I don't even see any shells down here. Oh my goodness, but there is a crabbit. Okay, so at least we know there's crabbits on the side of the island too, so maybe they could go hunting crabbits at some point. But yeah, other than that, I don't really see anything noteworthy in the water right now, so we'll just have them keep making their way over to this nest, and hopefully for that matter, they'll be able to find some more food sources over here, and maybe even some more nests too that they can settle down and really make a family in. Now, as for the rest of our little explorers over here, of course we have Duke Meme, who is the king of the island. I think he's probably going to be one of the ones who takes like his little team of adventurers off to explore the rest of the island. I'm hoping, of course, that we're going to be able to find more nests up here too. He is probably going to breed with Dawn on the next turn, I think, when she has a little bit more energy, because it would be nice if we could possibly pull the Poison Fangs out of his line. And I know the Spit Snout is much more dominant than many of the other noses in the game, but I'm hoping that if we place it in the mutation menu, at least we would have a better chance of hopefully mutating it onto their babies. And if not, then they should at least be able to carry the gene in their genetics, so maybe we could pull it out later. But for now, JessiMew, why don't you start making your very, very slow way up along the shore so that he can do a little bit of exploring soon, and we'll have Jasper follow him. We'll have Jasper come up this way as well, and then I think, let's see, Ivy should probably actually stay in the area because we do want her to possibly breed with Eclipse. We're probably going to see if Eclipse can pass the Nimble Fingers on with a baby with either Ivy or Syrah. A baby with Syrah would at least be guaranteed to have the claw because of course she has 2 claws of her own, and it would be nice if we could have those balanced creatures like we've had on previous islands with 1 claw and 1 berry paw. But for now, let's actually have Ivy come up this way so that she can at least sit next to the babies in the nest. I guess we'll have these two just take control of this nest for now. They'll just make sure that all of the babies are safe. And otherwise, I think we can skip the turn because it looks like there isn't much exploring left to do over here. So we'll go ahead and skip. And it looks like little Dewey is already growing up a little bit too. We'll give him his blue gem as well because he is part of that family. And we'll have him move out of the nest, of course, right next to Ivy so that Syrah can sit in the nest. And hopefully she'll have a good luck baby too. This is the baby of a Quartz, so it is possible that maybe we could have the Cracker Jaw. That would be really excellent if that were the case. But let's have Eclipse at least pick his berries. There we go, 2 swipes, and then I believe he has cleaned the entire bush, so he is doing very, very good already. And then we'll have Dawn attack this Crabbit again, and there we go. That was enough to actually end the Crabbit. So we can actually have Bolt pick up the meat, and it'll give us a little bit of a boost in our food. So those will actually be pretty decent to hunt down if we can get some good Crabbit hunting pairs in the pack. But for now, let's have you guys kind of scoot out this way. We did want Dawn and JessiMew to breed, hopefully, so that she doesn't get taken advantage of by any of those wandering males in the grass. But first, let me just make sure that we have our mutation menu set up for their baby in particular. We definitely want to see if we can mutate those Poison Fangs, so that'll go right in the 30% slot. And other than that, I was thinking that maybe we should actually put the normal hind legs in here too. She does have the normal hind legs, so it is a possibility that their babies would have it anyway, but just to give it a little bit of a boost, because that's part of the reason why JessiMew is so slow. Of course, he has those very familiar frog toes that Adam and Eve had when we started the game, but that's not exactly helping him right now, especially as he's kind of a land-dwelling creature. He's going to be the one that protects the mainland from all the carnivores, so he really needs to have that extra boost of speed. But I guess we can have Jasper jump in this grass right here. I guess, honestly, they're going to be playing a lot of leapfrog over here, aren't they? We can have Jasper and Bolt both, jump their way through the grass. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything just yet. This place is very, very barren. It's a little bit unfortunate. We'll at least have Dawn come over here, and then, they can breed, and then we'll start having them, clear out this area just so we don't lose our way. I always like to clear out the grass as we're exploring, just because it's easier for our creatures to move around later. But I guess we could have Ivy come over here to clear out this grass so that she's still sitting next to the little baby and I'm protecting him too. And then you guys can start making your way over to that nest again. We'll have you scoot along the shore. We'll leave this Crabbit alone for now because we do want to make sure that we're clearing out the area with the nest as soon as possible. So we'll go ahead and go up this way. It does seem like Splish has a bit of a lower speed than Coral, unfortunately. So we'll just have to make sure that he is in the area. And oh my goodness, a nest right next to our other nest. Excellent. Okay, so we already know that we have 2 nests in this area. And I don't think we could possibly ask for a better situation than that right now. Except if there's some food over here. It would be excellent if we had a nice little berry bush to pick from too. So let's have Coral actually sit right on this nest so she can have her baby in the next turn. And let's see, we have of course Syrah sitting on the nest, but otherwise I think we're all out of turns. So let's go ahead and see what Syrah's baby is going to look like first, because I am quite curious. Maybe it'll have, oh my goodness, I was going to say maybe it'll have the spots, but instead she has those beautiful panda patterns, of course, just like so many other creatures in her family. And look at that, she actually does not have the no paw. That is actually very surprising, because of course Quartz and his family was completely riddled with no paws. He was the son of both Speck and Sienna, and we all know that they had a lot of no paws to deal with, and oh my goodness, no, we don't need to see you back here. Wait a second, we have to deal deal with this guy before we go look at the other baby. Let's have Duke Meme jump right in here and find a nest. Yes, absolutely perfect. Okay, we'll slap the carnivore a couple times. Yeah, he is almost done, so we don't even really have to worry about him. In fact, if we have Jasper come over here, and he's fully grown now too, so he can take on his last gem, we can have him slap the carnivore, and he is completely done. So let's have Bolt go ahead and pick up all of this meat over here, which will give us a very nice boost. And then we could actually have Dawn sit right on this nest. Oh my gosh, right next to another berry bush. Oh, that is perfect. We're definitely having a little bit more luck this time than we were in the last episode. So let's clear out a little bit more of this grass. We at least have a nice clear pathway for other creatures to get over to this nest if they need to. But for now, we'll just go ahead and clear out as much as we can. We do want to widen the path if possible because it'll make it even easier for our creatures to get through. But oh gosh, look at that. Eclipse is also fully grown. So he can start his family of hopefully nimble-fingered babies too, especially as we're finding more berry bushes. For now, why don't you go ahead and pick up these berries for us? There we go. And I see that the shells are starting to spawn now too, which is excellent. So we want to shuffle around the mutation menu a little bit. We definitely want those nimble fingers in there, of course. We want those nimble fingers in the 30% slot. And then we also want the normal blood clotting in there too, because I did notice that unfortunately Eclipse is one of our few creatures who has hemophilia. So it's very, very important that we get that bred out of the pack as soon as possible. So I guess we could have him breed with Ivy. We do want her to have a baby with him. And then honestly, Sierra could go up there pretty soon too. If we move Ivy right over this way, then we can move Sierra over here, and then he could actually breed with her right away. So we at least know that we have another baby ready for us. And actually, Dewdrop, you could start moving this way, I suppose. We don't want him to move too far away from the grown-ups, of course, just in case the bird comes out, but he only has a couple more days until he has his second gem anyway, and then he can start officially moving off toward his family over here. And of course, let's take a look at this little darling. Oh my goodness, she is so gorgeous. Unfortunately, she does not have the water body, so that hasn't worked just yet, but we will keep giving it a try. I do see that she has 2 of the same immunity genes, but honestly, that might help us out later because we'll just have to make sure that whoever she breeds with does not have immunity gene H in their genetics. So for now, I guess we could actually have them have another baby, couldn't we? Supposedly, you guys have told me that the mutation menu only matters when you're actually breeding the pairs, so I guess this will kind of like test that out for us. We'll go ahead and place the water body back in here in the 30% slot, and then of course we'll also place the fishing tail, if I can find it, there we go, in the 10% slot, and we'll see if this works. We'll bring, actually we should probably bring Splish right here so that he can protect both of his babies, and then we'll bring Coral over here to breed with him. And as for her name, I think I'll go ahead and rename her Isla, because she is going to be spending a lot more time on land, just like her brother Dewdrop over here. So let's see if this works. Let's make sure that all of these different babies have been born in the correct way, and oh my goodness, look at you! You are gorgeous too! You have the tiger stripes! Oh, that is so gorgeous! And thankfully, her genetics look perfect. Not only does she have the normal blood clotting and the normal eyes, but she also has pretty good immunity genes too. So why don't we actually have her mother go ahead and pick these berries right over here, so that these guys can go deeper into the grass and try to explore the immediate area. We definitely need to clear this out of all of the tall grass just so nothing spawns in here and ends up completely shattering their tiny family. And in fact, we'll just have Bolt clear out the rest of the way, and oh my goodness, we have a bunny over here too! Somebody needs to pounce on the bunny! Unfortunately, Bolt is like completely blocked by this darkness, so even he could not pounce on the bunny. And in fact, I think this bunny is going to end up getting away. Eclipse, you should probably just stay here and pick your berries in all honesty, because if that bunny is just going to sit on the shore waiting to steal our food, then we definitely need to pick it up before he does. And look at all these shells! Oh my gosh, Eclipse, if you only had a baby with the nimble fingers, then they could definitely help you out collect all of those shells. And in fact, why don't we go ahead and scoot these guys around so that somebody can hopefully have their next nimble-fingered baby. Hopefully Ivy will be the one. I'm a little bit concerned about the nimble fingers managing to pass over the no paw that she has, but we'll see if the mutation menu does its job, I suppose. And actually, Dewdrop, you can start moving a little bit closer to your family now because you've grown up, and oh geez, I accidentally changed his name. There we go. So we'll have him start moving this way. We don't want him to go too deep into the water, of course, because he doesn't have a way to breathe underwater. And he has a leech over here. That's not very good. This is going to be a little bit tricky to maneuver. We want him to get over to dry land before the leech gets onto him, and hopefully it's not going to jump onto him while he's standing on this island, because then we would have to have somebody come over here to get it off of him so he doesn't bleed out. And this bunny is still just sitting here. It is still just sitting here staring off into the darkness. I hope there's not something like menacing sitting in this darkness right here, and it has this bunny like completely paralyzed in fear or something. It looks like Eclipse is protecting this baby, so maybe we could have Sierra make her way around here. Okay, there it goes. It saw Sierra and it was not going to have anything to do with her. I guess we could have her peek in this grass right here, and then just on the off chance that the bunny decides to hop next to Sierra, we'll leave her with that one extra turn. And Bolt, you could actually peek in this grass right here to use up your last turn, and then we'll go over to our water family way over here and take a look at their next baby. Oh my goodness, the purple eyes are back and he has the water body. Excellent. So it did finally work. We finally managed to get a baby with the water body in our pack. Let's actually take a look at that. We'll see if we can find the baby who was just born. I think his name is a Kununu. Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh, he almost looks purple himself. How did that happen? He has the red fur and the gray fur, and somehow maybe with the water body, it's given him this like really gorgeous violet look to him. Oh my gosh, he is beautiful. We are definitely going to have to figure out a good name for this guy, so let's see. Why don't we name him Echo? I feel like that would be a good name for a water creature in particular, especially somebody spending a lot of time underwater, which he is definitely going to be doing. And for that matter, he has the ram horns, he has the claw. What's his strength like? Okay, a 3 in strength, and he does have, of course, the fishing ability because he at least has the claw. Unfortunately, he did not manage to inherit, or rather mutate the fishing tail, but we'll keep trying. Hopefully it'll happen soon. And in fact, why don't we move little Isla over this way so that she's still protected by her father, and then we'll move Coral into this nest and just make sure that our mutation menu, of course, are set up correctly. There we go. The big ears. Oh gosh, the big ears unlocked? Okay, so we must have explored enough of those different desert tiles to unlock the big ears. So that's pretty good. Hopefully that means that pretty soon we can get that, of course, that Fennec Fox family going. But for now, we'll have them breed. We'll have Coral peek in some of this grass just to keep her family safe. And then we could actually have Splish move over this way because he's still protecting the babies, and then he can peek in this grass too. So we're clearing it out a little bit. We do need to find some more sources of food pretty soon, or I mean, again, if we could only get those nimble fingers on our creatures, and then we could just pick up all of these shells that are just clogging up our oceans right now. But I think we are officially out of turns. We could at least have Eclipse peek in this grass for us, but otherwise I think we're good. So let's skip the day, and we'll see if maybe Ivy can have one with the nimble fingers. No, unfortunately, it doesn't look like she has the nimble fingers, but she did steal the name that we just gave to our other baby, Isla. Oh my gosh, how adorable is that? Well, let's actually change her name to Summer to kind of go along with those big yellow eyes. I like how the yellow eyes have kind of become like a very dominant trait in this pack. We were so worried about losing them so early on in the game, and we definitely didn't need to worry because they are absolutely everywhere. So we can have Eclipse pick his berries, of course. And we do want to keep this baby very, very close, so I think he's going to stay right there. Unless, if he moves down here, then he could at least pick up one of these shells. So why don't we actually move the baby like right next to this nest right here, just to keep her safe. And then we'll move Eclipse down over this way so he can pick up the shell for us. And that does leave a lot more darkness in the area than we had previously, but he'll move right back onto his little stump here in the next turn. And since Sierra can't really use the nest right now, instead we'll have her come up here and peek in this grass for us so that we can clear out a little bit more of the land. And I guess we'll have Ivy sit right here to protect both of the babies while her current baby Summer can still grow up. And of course we need to start moving Dewdrop over to his family too, so let's see. Let's have him jump in this water right here and then up this way, and it looks like he's safe. The leech didn't actually move, so he should be just fine right there. He'll be able to scoot right up to his family, so you have officially made your way back to your family. Poor little Dewey. And oh my goodness, the gills! Are you kidding me? We actually managed to inherit the gills on this creature, finally! Finally, we managed to inherit the gills. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the water body and she doesn't have the fishing tail, but I guess it's good to know that we will eventually be able to pull the gills back out on our creatures again. So we're not giving up on them entirely, but we're not focusing all of our attention on them either. So let's change her name over to Misty, and then hopefully pretty soon, once all of these little babies grow up, we can actually have them start pushing off into either the ocean or maybe even this river over here, this little stream. That would be interesting too. I'm not sure if our creatures have a high enough fishing skill to actually grab the fish out of the water over here, but we could at least explore the area and see if we can find anything new. We do probably want to start having these guys move off into the grass anyway to find more sources of food, more berry bushes and whatnot. And in fact, we might actually have them start pushing this way right now. We just want to make sure that the babies are safe. So if we move little Isla right up here, oh my gosh, and she actually managed to find a berry bush. How perfect is that? We could actually have Splish come up here to clear it out. He won't be able to actually use the berry bush because he doesn't have any way of collecting just yet, but if he can at least clear it out, then we can collect from it later. And actually, all of his children have managed to skip his no paw, which is pretty good, except for Dewdrop, of course. Poor little Dewdrop, who is still trying to make his way to his family. He's like clawing his way up the shore, just trying to get back to his family over here. So hopefully he'll be able to do that in the next turn because I think he's very, very close. And we just need to shuffle these guys around now, I think. So let's have Dawn move out of the nest so that her baby can grow, and then we'll have her start collecting the berries too. And for that matter, this little baby can collect the berries as well, so she'll be able to help her mother out collect from that bush. And you guys can continue attempting to move off into the distance over this way. So they're getting pretty close to the swamplands now. It does look like this tree is probably right in the middle of the swamplands, so it's going to be a little bit harder to collect from that area. But as it is right now, none of these creatures can even pick up the acorns because they don't have the nimble fingers. So I'm not sure if we're even going to have to worry about that. At the very least though, we do want them to clear the area out just in case there's some form of a berry bush in here. So let's have a Bolt jump this way, and let's have them just start playing leapfrog into the distance again. We might actually want to have Dukemeem and Dawn breed one more time before he leaves though, just in case. We'll have the Poison Fangs in the 30% slot, of course, and then we'll also have those regular hind feet in the 10% slot too, so that their babies can move around a little bit faster. We'll have them breed, and then he can go ahead and clear out some of this grass over this way. He could jump over here. Oh my goodness, is that a new type of fish? Oh, look at that thing. That is so cool. Okay, let's see. Can any of our creatures actually jump in there and grab it? I mean, unfortunately, Dukemeem is out of turns right now. He does have a 2 in fishing, though, thanks to his double claws. But I did notice that we have something rustling back here, too, so we might actually want to check that out first. Let's have Bolt jump in here, take a look. Okay, it was just a bunny. It was just a bunny, so they are definitely eyeing up this berry bush over here. Let's actually have Jasper jump this way so that he can clear out the area a little bit, just so that we don't lose this berry bush, because we definitely want to make sure that we know that it's there. And it looks like that might be all of the turns that we can make right now. I think so, because of course we want to keep the baby safe over this way. We could at least move this baby, little Echo, next to his parents on this side, just to keep the area lit up a little bit more. And then we absolutely need to keep their mother right in the middle of all of the babies so that the bird can't take them away. We still haven't seen the bird though. I'm really surprised that the bird hasn't come out yet, especially with all of these new births in the pack. So let's go ahead and skip the turn again. I don't think anybody is actually giving birth on this turn. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Now, is there any rustling grass that we need to take a look at first? Surprisingly, no. It is very, very quiet here right now, which is a little bit concerning. But let's have Eclipse move back on top of this log. And of course, we have all of these little shells still sitting out here. We need to have another baby with the nimble fingers, though. That is very, very important. It looks like Kareem has grown up, though, so she should be able to move a little bit further away from the rest of the group. And in fact, let's have her move closer to the north so that she can clear out a little bit of this grass that's still lingering in the area. And we want Syrah to move into the nest now. So let's have Summer move next to her mother, and we'll have Syrah use up a couple of her turns to get into the nest. And there was that bunny. I did see that bunny back there. Okay, so it's still alive and well. We'll go ahead and peek in some of this grass with a little baby, and then have Dawn gather up a couple of the berries too. And on the next turn, we'll have her sit in the nest. And we'll just save that last turn just in case the bunny hops a little bit close enough. Though I feel like it probably won't hop that close. It's probably looping around to get behind this berry bush, so we might want to leave Bolt with a turn instead so that he could maybe snatch up the bunny for us. But I do still want to see if we can grab up this fish in the water, if maybe Dukemeem's skill is high enough. So let's go ahead and peek in some of this grass to see if the fish will move. It's not moving yet, unfortunately. Maybe if we move Bolt over here, we could get it to move. No, it's still just sitting there. It knows that we want it to move like right over this way. But we did manage to find another one of these logs, so that's pretty good. We could have him peek at the log and then sit right on top of it to light up the area. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love how much of the area it lights up. But it does look like we have something else rustling back here too, so that's good to know. That's why these are so important to use, I guess. Let's just have Dukemeem peek in some of this grass grass right here, that fish is definitely not moving, so we're actually going to have to loop around if we want to try to get it. And for now, I don't really want JessiMew to sit on the swamp tiles, so maybe we'll just leave him there. We could have him cut down the berry bush though. We could have him cut it down because it will grow back anyway, and I mean, these creatures aren't exactly suited to picking berries anyway, so why don't we have him cut this down just for the extra berries, just for that extra bit of food, and then hopefully as more nimble-fingered creatures are born, that bush will grow back for them to use. I mean, I am crossing my fingers that this baby manages to have the nimble fingers, hopefully. We know it's definitely going to have one claw, but we want those nimble fingers more than anything right now. Now let's have finally Dewdrop join the rest of his family. Oh my goodness, it has been such a long journey for you, but you finally made it over here. And look at the state of this family. They are gorgeous. I am so impressed with this family. We definitely need to change their gems over though. They all need those beautiful blue gems, just like Splash the First. There we go, so that we know that they are part of the water baby line, and pretty soon they're going to be able to charge their way off into the water and hopefully find some little fishy friends to snatch up for us. For now, let's make sure that we're shuffling the babies around so that they're all safe. We could move Misty up this way, and then we can have Coral sit over here to hopefully pick up a couple more of these berries for us. There we go. And then we'll just have Splish at least peek in this grass over this way. If he moves right here, actually, then he'll still be able to keep his babies safe, and then he'll be able to peek in a little bit more of the grass too. There we go. So they're slowly clearing out the area. Isla, you could actually clear out a little bit of the grass over on this side instead and find another berry bush. Oh my goodness. She has found so many berry bushes for us already, right on this side of the island. So this is actually a pretty plentiful side of the island compared to the other places, which is quite good to see. So it looks like our water babies in particular are going to have a very, very nice life off on the western side of the island if they're going to have so much food for them to use. Now, before we see what the very final baby of this episode is going to look like, let's have Ivy go over here to breed again with Eclipse. We'll go ahead and place our nimble fingers, of course, in the 30% slot, and then we'll also place the normal blood clotting in the 10% slot. Now, unfortunately, Summer did inherit the hemophilia, so that didn't really help us out too much, but hopefully if we just keep trying and trying, then we'll get those perfect babies that we can really use to extend their line even further. But let's have them breed, and then we'll go ahead and see what Asira's baby is going to look like, because I believe we're out of turns now. That's about all of the turns that we can use up. We do want Dawn to sit next to her baby after all, so I think that's about all that we can do this time. Let's go ahead and skip the day, and hopefully the nimble fingers. Nope. Still no nimble fingers. I swear, this pack definitely wants to become like just straight up carnivores. They are not interested in all of these berries. They're not even interested in the shells at this point. Though I think, did I hear the bird? Ah, yes. The bird has finally visited our skies, so we finally have to watch out for the bluebird as we continue on, and I think in the next episode that is exactly what we'll do. Thankfully, quite a few of our babies have already grown up. We just have one little last baby to watch out for, a little Misty over here with her gills, and we're going to keep her very well protected because we don't want to lose those gills, of course. They are so hard to pass along that we cannot risk losing them at this point. But Echo, look how cool he is! Oh my gosh, I absolutely love this guy. The water body in particular is very, very cool. So in the next episode, hopefully we'll be able to have Echo and the rest of his family start moving off into the water in search of fish, or at least the ones who can, like little Misty. She'll be joining him as they try to find a little bit more food for the pack to use. The rest of them, like Dewdrop and Isla, will probably have to expand the territory up toward the north. Maybe they'll be able to clear out the tree too. Like again, they won't be able to actually use the tree because we don't have any nimble fingers in this pack either. But we'll have to see if maybe we can mutate them onto this side of the pack, or hopefully if one is finally going to inherit the nimble fingers from their father Eclipse. I hope so. Like, again, I am really starting to feel like our tribe just wants to become carnivores at this point. They are just not interested in gathering up any of the berries or the acorns, not even this pack. I mean, these guys barely have any opportunities to gather up the berries as it is. It's just Dawn right now and Bolt who have their running legs, and of course Dawn's daughter, Ilaire, who can also pick up the berries too. And I just noticed that she almost stole Isla's name as well. Like, apparently they really like the name Isla because they are stealing it left and right all of a sudden. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!